When you have a credo and people are embracing the notion of corporate character and purpose, what you find is that your employees become these incredible ambassadors for everything that you do.
Our lesson has not been how do we prevent our people from engaging? How do we keep our people from saying something wrong? How do we ensure that they're not going to commit a firing offense just by sort of taking to their 140-character screen? But how do we actually give them the voice, the chance, the challenge to learn something from each other and to tell us something that can help us guide the way that we think?
It's about how you build people, hire people, retain people, how you enable them, how you teach them. That's huge. And that's, those are skills that we all have to learn. When you think about what we've got to do, you're only as effective as the people around you.
If we want people to advocate on our behalf, we have to build mutual respect. And if we want our employees to advocate on our behalf, we have to advocate on their behalf. And if they get it right with their employees, they're going to get it right with their customers, and ultimately that's what's going to drive the business success of the company.
What was the common theme that every single person talked about? Everybody talked about courage. Every single presentation in some way or in some manner talked about courage. And in ethics, that's a concept we call moral courage, where you have to be the one to sometimes say, no, we can't do that, or let's revisit that decision, or Mr. Chairman, let's think about how this could come back on us later. Maybe we can do that thing, but should we do that thing?
This notion of corporate character, inherent in it is this notion of caring, right? Acts of caring. But there's also this nexus with the notion of courage, being courageous to go where perhaps others may not go.
And I think that's our job as communicators and as leaders. We spend a lot less time sort of thinking about how do we message this. We spend a lot more time huddling with leaders and saying, we got to change this now. Should have changed it yesterday, it's wrong. Fix it. And those are hard discussions. We've all been in them. They're painful to admit, they're painful to enact, they're the right thing to do for your people.
You gotta inspire people. Because if you don't inspire people, you say, we're going to be committed for the long term. Well, then you better be committed for the long term. And the only way it's going to go is if you've got other people inspired, and you got other people saying, I like this 5 years out. I like this guiding innovation. I love this. So it's really, in my mind, our job, if we're serious about the long term, to see that long term beyond our tenure. And that we're just custodians for a short period of time for our brands. And that by inspiring others, we get that multiplier and we move forward.
I think stakeholder engagement is going to move to really being a continuous conversation with the people that are important to us, whether it's employees, investors, business partners, third parties, whomever it is, that really allows us and gives us the permission to continue to do business. And we're going to move away from really the notion of engagement to the notion of enablement and really helping people achieve outcomes that are important to them by virtue of their relationships with your company.
We had to change the conversation. Lung cancer could not be about the stigma of a smoker. It had to be, Valerie Harper's case, had to be the story of anyone can get lung cancer. If you have lungs, you can get lung cancer. And so it was really changing the conversation, and that's something we had to do internally and externally.
It really is a business about people and relationships. And Dave's story about how one parish priest can control your license to operate in a particular region. The Starbucks story about one employee can change the entire shift policy of the company. So technology is important, as we just found out, but it has to serve smart strategy about how to engage with people.
I think we are where marketing was 20 years ago. We're growing up. Okay, so it's become clear what sort of processes we work with, what kind of contributions we can make, and so on and so forth. Through all the different things we do, and especially when it comes to manifesting the way that the company works in society and the stakeholder management piece of it.
I think the future of this role is actually going to become being a relationship steward or a steward of communication rather than just engaging. I think we have to respectfully steward those relationships with our strategic publics, with our stakeholders, and try to find ways to co-create the relationship, co-create meaning finding out what they want and become better strategic listeners instead of just engage, engage, engage.
I think that the opportunities that the CCO faces are becoming much more significant, much more profound, and much larger. And part of the challenge is that they're coming at us faster and faster and faster, and in multiple waves. We're going to have to be passionate about learning, and we're going to have to be passionate about being smart and trying different things and taking risks. The problems are big, they're coming fast, and it's going to be a wild ride.